Right, we are live again. This is good. Haven't been live for a while. Hello, everybody. Right, let's do quick introductions just in case there's anybody new watching this video. So my name is Lois. I am a mindset, manifestation and empowerment coach. That probably sounds very boring to a lot of people and they're like, what the heck is that? Is it a life coach? Kind of. But I deal with all areas from spiritual awakenings right through to past traumas, PTSD, coaching people in their journeys of healing and understanding and navigating things such as ADHD and autism and ADHD and their late diagnosis, and basically helping people to overcome anything in their life, whether it's a habit, a pattern, a mental health issue, a physical health issue, helping them create a healthier mindset and ultimately a healthier life for themselves and achieve their dreams and goals. Because I'm doing it for myself, I've done it for other people, for friends, family, been doing it my whole life, and unconsciously everybody else has been doing it too. But most of us have been manifesting from our wounds, our insecurities, our fears, all the shit stuff basically. So my purpose is to help people move into the side of the positive so that they're going to get more of what they want and less of what they don't want. It's a very holistic approach. It's I deal case by case. I don't do a one size fits all kind of technique or method. I have lots. I actually have a course at the moment called How to Unfuck Yourself. This is a perfect course for anybody who's stuck in repeating cycles, patterns, looping. You know, it's the usual thing of different relationships, but it ends up being the same situation. You know, you're stuck in the same kind of jobs, you're stuck in the same situations, same arguments with families, even just regular habits and patterns of the things that you keep doing. Procrastination, can be worry about things. It can even be things just such as smoking or your diet. This course helps you identify exactly what, why, how, when, and then you're able to transform it. It's kind of like it's a 4-step process. It's very, very simple, very, very straightforward, easy to understand, but it is pretty intense. A lot of people do have really good results from it. In fact, it has 100% success rate, and I don't say that lightly, but I believe in what I do and I've got the results to back it up. So there you go. Oh, howdy, Chris. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well this evening. I've just done the boring bit of the intro. So this is the A to Z of manifesting. I literally go through everything A to Z. And today we're on letter N, which actually was quite tricky. I thought there'd be a lot more N's when it came to manifesting. So I'm going to go through the key words, phrases around manifesting and manifestation. And by all means, if you think of anything else, shout it out. But these are just the key ones that I can think of that have the most resonance with it. So some you might know, some you might not. Right, let's get going then. So I'm going to start with one which actually feeds into a lot of things. It's not necessarily well used in manifesting, but it is something that a lot of people need to take on board. And it's being nonchalant. So this can, in some ways, it can be a good thing, but in most ways, it's more of a hindrance than a benefit. Because being nonchalant is almost as bad as being apathetic. And when you're in that kind of mood of like, oh, whatever, you know, just, yeah, come, go. You know, we talk about being in the flow. That's very different. Being in the flow is still moving with intention, moving with direction, moving with purpose. You're still going towards something, or you're still aiming at something, but you're just not forcing the process of how it unfolds. That's what going in with the flow is. Nonchalance is when you're neither here or there. You're not really pursuing anything, but you're not kind of not doing anything either. It happens so much in the dating world, and it drives everybody up the pissing wall. And I understand why, because having intention, having purpose, having drive and motivation is key to receiving anything in life, because what you put out is what you get back. Everything is your mirror. So being nonchalant when it comes to manifesting isn't going to get you anywhere. You've got to have really clear focus. You've got to be so determined, so sure. You don't have to obsess over it, but you've got to be certain and sure that this is what you want. This is the thing. This is done. This is yours. Gonna happen. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is going to get in the way. That's all it is. That's how some people who you might class as maybe being untalented end up manifesting what they want, because they have that absolute determination and drive, and they will not stop until they make it happen. And nonchalance is not going to get you there. Okay, let's catch up with some comments. Struggled with N Lois. Yeah, got natural, naturist. Don't get too many naturists. Neutral. Yes, got that one. Notice now. Nice. Yes. Yeah, they're all good. Yeah, it was a tricky one, this one. It was, I've been mulling over it for a couple of days, and it's annoying because when I first started this series, I wrote every single alphabet down, and I'm sure for N I had at least 4 or 5. And then I did a stupid thing and I had a mad tidy up. I threw the list out, so I had to start all over again. So this was tricky, but there we go. Never heard of nonchalance. I could close, very close, just 2 letters different. But yeah, so nonchalant, don't be nonchalant. You know, it doesn't suit you in anything, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, whether it's money. Being nonchalant is basically just half-assing it. It's basically just being apathetic, and you're going to get the same results back. It's kind of like when people, the people that do very little and expect a lot in return. And then they wonder why people get pissed off with them. The universe acts the same way, funnily enough. The universe won't sit there and go, well, you've been sat on your ass for the last week and you expect me to deliver you the job of your dreams. I don't fucking think so, mate. Get off your ass and put some effort in. So this is what gets people with manifesting. People are like, oh, well, if you have to put in effort and it doesn't just happen, then how is that manifesting? And this is the thing. People think manifesting is a magic trick. That if you journal every day, if you write something out 369 times, if you do affirmations every morning, every night, and you chant around in your underwear and you burn sage and you fucking howl at the moon, all of a sudden life is just going to hand shit to you. Well, it can feel like that sometimes because it can feel quite magical. I've manifested some crazy shit over the years, and sometimes it happens instantly, and sometimes it can take weeks or months. But the thing is, if you think about it in terms of energetic alignment, being nonchalant is an energetic frequency of I couldn't really give a shit. So if what you put out is what you get back, then if you have that energy of I really couldn't be asked, then what do you think you're going to get back? You're going to get back results that are really half-assed and a bit shit. So when you get someone that wants to manifest money and it kind of ends up being a bit of a dribble of money, maybe they win £1 on a scratch card, or they want the love of their life, but they can't be asked to go out dating, or they can't even be asked to just sort their appearance out or make an effort or just go out and meet people. And then they sit there and go, well, I'm never going to get a date. No one wants to date me. And it's like, get your fucking ass off the sofa and go out. Then you might, So cause and effect kind of thing. Universe works in balance and harmony. So what you give is what you get, give, take, yin yang. Think of it that way. Have you booked your speed test awareness course yet? Yes, I've done the speed awareness course, done that. It was actually quite good. It's always good to refresh yourself with new things because they keep changing the highway code every 5 bloody minutes, it seems. So it was worth it. I don't have points. I had to pay for it. But yes, slap on the wrist for me. And you know what? I didn't get arsey about it. A lot of people would be like, oh my God, I've had so many bills come in lately. And I just have the mentality, and it's automatic now, that as soon as a bill comes in, I look at it and, okay, I can afford to pay it, but it still doesn't stop some of the old programming I have around money, which you get the knee-jerk reaction of, oh my God, where the fuck am I going to get the money from for this? But I look at it and go, wow, okay, so I've got to pay these bills. Right, well, for every pound I spend, I'm going to get 10 back. Don't know how, don't know where, don't care. It's just going to happen. And that is my mindset. That's how I see expenses now, as, oh, well, if I'm paying out, then I must be getting shitloads back. Or I must, and it's happened, I've received money from my premium bonds that happened to be the exact amount that I needed to pay for the speed awareness course and a couple of other bills. So, universe delivers. so there we go. So yeah, all done. You got one on the A66 the week you got one. Oh, they must have been out in force then. Oh no. So I take it, have you booked your awareness course, Chris? Get it done if you can, unless you've already done it, because if you get a speeding fine within the next 3 years, you can't do another one. You just get points, which is fair enough. But yes, I've been behaving myself on the roads. I took it as a sign that it meant for me, I was too distracted. I needed to slow down and I needed to focus. Now, that's easy to say to someone with ADHD. That's like trying to ask a herd of chickens to just get in an orderly queue. It's just not going to fucking happen. But because of the awareness, because I know cause and effect and I understand and appreciate, these things are there to keep us safe, it has made me very much more aware, and I do slow down and I don't panic and I'm not in a rush and I don't do things stressful and I give myself more time and I just take it easy. So yes, it has helped me in other areas of my life to recognize that with work, with finances and with other things, relationships, plans that I've got going on, little projects, that I'm doing so many things that I'm scattering myself again. I do a lot of side projects. So I'll start one thing, then I'll start another. And before you know it, I've got like 4 things on the go and I haven't completed any of them. That's a very ADHD thing to do. So I've got quite a lot of side quests going on. And I have to focus. I've got to start channeling my energy a lot more. So that's what I believe that it taught me. Yeah, be careful on the A66. Was it? I tick all the boxes for ADHD. Can't hold still and hyperactive all the time. Mine is it's just a series of constant. My brain is active all the time. And I say it to my partner, like, him and my son are the only people I can be around who make my head go quiet. It's the only way I can describe it. Every other time, my head is like an engine on full roar. It's constantly on the go, constantly thinking, working out, problem solving, pattern recognition in, I've got to do this, there's this idea, there's this going on, I need to do this and I must do that, and what's this? And then you have random thoughts as well. At 2 a.m, like a while ago, I suddenly thought, where are hedgehogs? It became an obsession for a while. I once spent 3 hours learning about what makes yogurt. Don't ask. I became a bit of a yogurt connoisseur for a day. That's just the ADHD way. Sleeping problems on day 23. Yeah, insomnia is a bit of an issue. I would always say this is the thing that ADHDers struggle with, is routine, because we hate sameness, we hate formality, but we need it. So you have to stick to a routine of bedtime. Now, I've been rubbish this last week. I'll hold my hand up. I have fallen back into the trap of listening to things and being on my phone right before bed. And it's keeping my brain and everything stimulated. So I need to make sure that when I get off the phone to my partner or when I finish doing something, that I put it away and I just go to bed. So I'm going to practice that as of tonight. Tonight, every device is going to be thrown across the other end of the van so I can't get at it. And I'm going to go to bed. So yes, get yourself a routine. With sleep, okay, so there's a couple of actual things you can do. So doing breathing exercises actually does help. But if you breathe in through your nose and then hold it, and then breathe out through your mouth slowly. Doing that in a rhythm actually stimulates your brain to start to slow down and get ready for sleep. Another thing you can do is, obviously people talk about like warm baths. I actually find I feel better with when I have like if you have a cold shower about half an hour before bed, because the spike actually then can cause your nervous system to start to relax afterwards. So don't do it right before bed. I would also say check your magnesium, see what your magnesium levels are like. So a drink of Celtic salt or pink Himalayan salt with lemon juice about half an hour, 20 minutes before bed can sometimes help. And doing that every evening. It's also very good for hydration. Yeah, there's all sorts of things you can do, but it's getting a routine of getting your brain prepared for sleep. That's what you need to do. So have something in place, even if it's like I need to read, or I'll get a drink, I'll do this, get prepared. If you get into bed, this is the other thing I've learned. If you get into bed and you find you can't sleep, or if you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel like you can't sleep, normally we'd grab a phone or a book. Get up, make a drink, or get up and go to the toilet and walk around for a bit, and then just come back to bed and just lie down. Don't insist you have to go back to sleep. Just lie down, or just prop yourself up and just be there. Because here's the thing that people haven't really cottoned on to is this 9 to 5, Monday to Friday isn't normal for us, right? Millennia before all this bullshit started, we would get up with the sunrise and we'd go to bed when the sun set. So we were in tune with the circadian rhythm. Now, we also used to wake up in the middle of the night, 1 a.m. till 3 a.m., sometimes midnight till 3. People would wake up in the Victorian times and they would actually go out. They'd go and see their friends, or they'd go and do activities. They'd prepare meals, whatever. They do all sorts of things. You can look it up. Trust me, I haven't made this up. This is genuine. And it kind of makes sense, because if you look through a lot of old Victorian style movies, you always think they're walking around at night. Like it's like maybe 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. They always seem to be night owls in the Victorian movies and Victorian programs. But actually, that's middle of the night. That's them being active. And that's actually natural for us to sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and then go back to sleep again. So I think said that humans used to go to bed at something like 6 p.m. and wake up at 11 p.m., stay up for a few hours, then go to bed at like 3 in the morning, and then wake up at 7 a.m. Obviously, depending on sunlight, hours. So there you go. So actually, us waking up in the middle of the night isn't genuinely a bad thing. It's not actually wrong to our body system. Plus, I always find that if I'm getting woken up at the same time every night, which is usually like 2, 3 a.m., sometimes it's because there's something playing on my mind, or I'm receiving a download of some sort. And when I say download, I mean like, some kind of spiritual attunement. And when that's happened, yes, normally I get some kind of like aha epiphany, or something clicks, or I don't know, it's hard to explain, but yes, that's what I would say when it came to sleep. Anyway, you've sidetracked me. Stop it. Right, let's get on track with this. Okay, next one we're going to talk about is need. So the reason I talk about need is we all have needs. But need is akin to lack. So when you need something, you need it because you don't have it. But need comes from a place of a void. Like there's something we need. Now there's certain types of needs. So we need food to survive, but we don't need to eat 3 meals a day. We need water to survive, but we don't need to drink 8 to 10 pints a day. We need oxygen because we'll fucking die if we don't. So there's certain things we do need for survival. But then there's things we don't need. And that's obviously the more materialistic things. But when it comes to manifesting, need is associated with lack. So when you say, I need this thing, you're essentially saying, I don't have it. And if I don't have it, my life is just a shit show. Rather than getting into yourself in the place of, well, I don't need it because I know I already have it or I already am it. I don't need love because I'm already loved. I love myself. I am, because love is not a thing. Love is an energy. It's a frequency. It's a state of being. All emotions are states of being. Anger, frustration, desperation, joy, excitement. They are states of being. They are emotions. They're not things. So when we say like, oh, I've had this a lot recently. A lot of people put something out there about, if you could manifest one thing, what would it be? Money, love, freedom, happiness. And people were like, yeah, I need happiness. I need to feel free. And I understand it because I used to feel that way too. But how can you need something that you intrinsically already are? That's what you have to ask yourself. So to need freedom, to need happiness, to need love, to need care, to need security and stability, these are all things that we can give ourselves just by understanding that we already are those things and have those things. So you can't ever be lacking what you already are. It's like saying, I need an arm, and not realizing that you've got two of the buggers already in front of you if you have to. But it's like that. And this is the awareness part of it that we've talked about before. So when you say you need something and you're trying to manifest it, so if you say, I need more money, you want to get into the energy of, I've already got it, not the energy of I need it. Because if you're needing something, you become desperate, and then you become in that anxious state and lack. And if you already had the money, you wouldn't be feeling anxious and you wouldn't be feeling lacking. And remember, what you put out is what you get back. There is that mirroring. So you've got to try and get yourself into the state of, I already have it, because I can't be lacking something that I already am. So in terms of, if you just look at money in terms of abundance can be all things. But if you can just affirm, I'm already wealthy, I'm a wealthy person. What would it feel like to be wealthy? What would it feel like to have that money? Imagine yourself receiving the money. Imagine yourself being in the relationship. How would you feel? If you were in a loving, committed relationship, you wouldn't be needing it because you already have it. And so that's how you transform it. And this is why I say, get my courses, because they'll really help. Okay, the next one is neutrality, neutral. So being neutral in terms of manifesting is simply, there is no good or bad. There's no, well, obviously we can see right and wrong, but there's no good or bad. It's like the yin and yang, everything in balance. It's duality, black and white. You see things, and that's what causes separation. Like when you think of not having something, you see yourself as separate from it. But I'm going to do a video on this separately, but essentially it's like, if you had two glasses and you filled them up out of a pond of water, and you took two glasses and you filled them both up from this pond of water, those two, like that water from that pond, which was once one, is now two. And it is only separate because of the vessels that it's in. And that is human consciousness. We are all one consciousness, connected through every single human, every sentient being, every living essence that ever existed, every atom, every neuron that exists right now is all one connected, cohesive thing. We are only separate from it because of our vessels, because this form that we take. So we're only separate from things because of this physical thing. But consciousness is not separate. So you are not separate from your desires. You are not separate from the things that you want. You're only believing that you are and perceiving that you are because of physical form and physical representation. That's a real hard one for people to get around. So to be neutral with something basically means that you don't necessarily need it and want it because you already have it, but at the same time you do kind of want it because you have a desire for it. So it's neither seeing things as good or bad, as, you know, with or without. It just is. So like with my speed awareness thing, some people could see it as bad, some people would see it as a good thing, right? It's bad because now I've got to pay money and blah blah blah, but it's also good because it's educating me and it's making me more aware of not speeding. So your perception, your interpretation of whether something is right or wrong, good or bad, black or white, up or down, it varies from person to person. We all have different perceptions based on our experiences and our beliefs. So neutrality is trying to take away that separation, that duality, and coming back to oneness, where all things are equal. And as we know at the moment with the fucking dumpster fire that is the world, it's quite tricky because, you know, everything seems very divided right now. And the point is we want to come together. So as much as we know that there is good and evil in the world, at an ultimate level, if you really want to start changing the world, you've got to change up here first. You've got to change your consciousness. You've got to change your belief, your focus, your energy, your frequency. Take it away. If you're pouring out fear and hate and anger, what are you going to be creating more of? And I know it's hard in these circumstances to find love and compassion, but what I would say is don't fucking watch the news all that much. I know I do. I see it on Instagram and things like that. I don't try to, but it's there in my face and I share it to make people aware of something. But I personally don't spend my days worrying and focusing about it. I know it exists and I know it's there in my reality, but I choose not to put my energy into it unless putting my energy towards something is making a difference. It's making a change. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point? You know, it's like worrying all day about something that you have no control over and hasn't even happened yet. That's anxiety. That's living in the future of something that hasn't even happened and you're catastrophizing. So give your energy to something that you can do something about. And that can be a really small change. But I tell you what, just changing your energy has such a massive effect on the world. The other one is non-conforming. And as we've spoken about with ADHD and autism and things like that, I should actually talk about NPCs. That would be a good one. And if you don't know NPC, it's a non-player character in gaming terms. And it basically refers to people at the moment as those that are awake and those that are not. NPCs are the robots of the world, you know, the sheeple, the people who are just like, yes, I believe everything that I'm told by the TV set and the government and everybody's telling me the truth, I promise. Yeah, those ones. People that don't have awareness, they don't have, you know, forethought, they don't have any critical thinking. They just believe what they're fed and they just get on with life. That's an NPC. So we could have that one in there. How that relates to manifesting is if you're an NPC, if you're someone that's easily controlled and manipulated, then you haven't expanded your consciousness. You haven't expanded your awareness. You are very linear and very small. And manifesting requires openness. It requires space. It requires expansion. So to be non-conforming basically means you just don't listen to the bullshit. It's not fitting in a box. It's not, manifesting isn't a neat little package tied in a bow where A plus B plus C is D. And manifesting is fluid. It's very abstract. It's very mad. It's very exciting. It's very powerful. It's very real. We create our reality. So if you're non-conforming, well done. I should have put neurodivergent in here actually, because the most powerful manifestors are neurodivergents. And where people have always said for ages that neurodivergent is a malfunction or dysfunction, it's actually not. It's the norm. In my personal opinion, neurodivergence is the norm. That is normality. That is how we should function as a society. That is how we should be. Neurotypicals are the conformed, controlled, robotic people. And I know for some people taking medication, if you've got serious ADHD, is a blessing for some people, but actually all it's doing is taking away your gifts. It's taking away your power. It's taking away everything that makes you amazing. And I know for a lot of people, they do struggle with it, but the struggle is because you're trying to fit in a fucking box that you're not meant to fit in. Think square peg, round hole. You're being forced to fit into a society and to a system that is not designed for you. The way you think, the way your mind works is incredible. It is so expansive that neurotypicals cannot comprehend it. So it confuses them, and then it makes them feel really out of sorts. So they want you to fit into their world rather than them trying to understand your world. So the reason you're feeling so mind fucked about your ADHD and your autism is because you have a very different brain, a very different working system, and it's you're just outside of this world. You're in a different consciousness. And like people have talked about, okay, well, if you're someone who's non-verbal, non-communicative, like almost like a locked-in syndrome, I get it. It's painful to watch, I know. But we try so hard to look at these people like they need to fit into our idea of what communication is, rather than trying to understand their needs and how they communicate and what's going on in their world. And you know, I've known people with autism who have been nonverbal and struggled until like even as old as 12 years old, and then all of a sudden they just start communicating. It's not necessarily that they can't, it's not necessarily that they don't want to. Brains work differently, and we all have to appreciate that we're all unique. No one is the same. So yeah, when it comes to neurodivergence, I wouldn't want to ever be any other way, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, the next one, we've got 3 more. Numerology. Numerology is very, very important to manifesting. Well, for some people it is. I used to be obsessed with it, and I would say don't get too hung up on it. But neurology is very powerful because it is one of the key laws in nature. Everything is around shape and geometry. Sacred geometry is a big part of this. I might go into that when we talk about S. So you look at numerology, and every number has a meaning, and you look at symbols in nature. You know, we look at petals. You know, most things have odd numbers: 3 petals, 5 petals. Some have 6, some have 8. There's certain makeups of things that run in sequences, and numerology relates to, you know, the stars, to space, to the universe, to plants, to nature. There's so much, and we know that the Egyptians knew a lot about this. We know that there was a lot to do with this about Atlantis, and there's so much out there. It's a rabbit hole that you could really take a deep dive on. But essentially, when it comes to manifesting, a lot of people look at numerology and they can get quite obsessed with the numbers, you know, 1111, 222, 444. We see them all over the place. You've probably seen them on number plates. If you haven't, don't worry about it. Me personally, I sometimes will go through a day, and if I'm lucky, I might only see a couple of repeating numbers or mirror hours. Mirror hour is something like 1010, 1212, or 2121, or 1221. 1331. But most days I will be just minding my own business. I'm not looking at the clock. I don't know where I am. I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and I will just happen to walk in a shop, look at the clock, 1313. Oh, okay. Minding my own business, walk away, you know, come back. I'm at home and I'm like, oh, 2020. It's like literally every time I look at a clock or I pick up my phone, it's a mirror hour or a repeating number of some sort. And I'm like, oh, okay. And some days I've gone all day just constantly bombarded with them. I used to get really obsessed with it and find out the meaning and what it is. I've even got a book with all the numbers written down. So if you need to know a number and you've been seeing it a lot lately, let me know. I'll see if I can tell you what it means, or you can just Google it. But essentially how I've interpreted it is when you see patterns, So whether it's a mirror hour repeating number or patterns of some sort, you keep seeing the same number. I had a friend who would wake up every night in the middle of the night at 3:33 every night, and he did that for years. Now, part of that is a pattern that your body has just got attuned to, but it's very specific. I myself see the number 717 a lot. There's times when I've been driving down the street and I'll be in a traffic jam and I'll just look to my right, boom, I'm outside house number 17. And that would happen repeatedly every day. Whatever I would look at, wherever I was, it was always the number 17. And I was like, what is with this number? And it happened for years, at least 2 years. So, and it stopped for a while. It's bloody well back again, isn't it? So what I choose to see this as, you can do it whatever you want, but I choose to see it as a sign that I am on the right path to whatever I'm manifesting. That it simply, it's like a nod of confirmation from the universe or higher self, whatever you want to go with, God, that just says, you're there. You're there. It's happened. It's done. It's yours. It's good as tied up and delivered, right? You're there. So when I see that, it's like when I used to get deja vu a lot when I was younger. I used to feel like deja vu meant I was on the right path. What I now see it as is more, it's like the timeline lap over, that I'm moving timelines. So take of it what you will, but numerology is very important. I should have actually probably put neuroplasticity in here, because that's a key part of manifesting, especially when it comes to health. The neuroplasticity is essentially forming new connections in the brain, which we can do. And this also helps with our nervous system. Oh God, nervous system. I should have put that one in there as well, because your nervous system is huge to manifesting. Oh Jesus, I'm going to have to throw this in here. So nervous system. Your nervous system is akin, it's the same thing as your immune system. Now, when you experience trauma, your body retains that trauma. And if you haven't expressed it, where's it going to go? It's going to go inside your body, which means it's going to go inside your cells, and they are going to mutate. Now, disease is a dis-ease in your body. Emotional and mental trauma creates physical trauma in the body. And that is where we get chronic illness and a lot of neurological diseases and immunities, autoimmune disease, neuroimmune diseases, chronic fatigue, ME, which is what I used to have, MS. There's so many things. And there's people that are reversing their illnesses. They are literally healing themselves from cancers, from Parkinson's, from Alzheimer's. There's other things at play in terms of diet and health and other things and exercise and things that people are doing. But essentially, you can rewire your brain. You can recode what's going on in there. You can heal yourself. Our bodies are designed to be self-healing. The reason they're not healing is because of the toxins, the chemicals, the poisons that we're putting in our body through the water, through food. Not that you can really call it food. There's so much going on out there. You have to look at how we live our lives now. They're very sedentary. We're stuck on computers. We're stuck on our devices. We don't go out as much. We don't get as much fresh air. The sun has been demonized. We're putting more chemicals on our body in terms of creams and lotions. We're eating food that is processed within an inch of its life and filled with chemicals that are not even natural. And you wonder why your body is so sick. It's not rocket science. It's like people are talking about climate change and global warming. Well, here's a good one. Plant more trees. Stop building buildings, because trees and plant life and grass and vegetation helps to lower the temperature of the planet. Have you ever noticed when it's a really hot day, if you go into the woods or you go into a forest, it's a lot cooler, right? Yeah, because nature provides everything that we need for survival. If we keep building concrete jungles, we're taking away the very thing that is actually cooling the planet down. When you put concrete and tarmac down, it heats the planet up. It's so fucking basic. A 5-year-old gets it. So when you've got people out there, politicians, governments telling you about climate change and how cows farting is the problem, freaking hell, You know, the solution is staring you in the face. You cut down all the Amazon and suddenly the planet starts to heat up. Wonder why. Anyway, I won't go on that. That's my soapbox. I weigh 1111. Oh, Chris, that's amazing. There you go. NPCs are scary. Yeah, they can be. Oh dear, you're a non-conform. Yes, it's good to be non-conforming. You saw 666 today, twice on number plates. Well, there you go. People freak out about 666. Okay, it's not necessarily the sign of the devil. 6 is actually quite a good number. I did have it written down here, so bear with. Balance, harmony, compassion, intuition, self-love. Yes, so 666 is balance, harmony, intuition. It's self-love. It is your environment. So if you're seeing 666, it's basically telling you either that you are already feeling more balanced, harmonious, that your environment is conducive to whatever you're putting out, or it's trying to tell you that that's what you need to work on. You need more balance, more harmony, more compassion, more self-love. So take it whichever way you want. You can take whatever meaning you want from it, but that's what 666 means. And by the way, it's the number, but it's amplified. So 66 is peace and harmony and balance in your environment, magnified. Yeah, there's so many NPCs. I know, I have to protect ourselves. We do. I was in the forest, this heat wave, the breeze is amazing. Yeah. Honestly, if you are hot, no, I don't want to say go into the forest, because I go into the forest and I don't want loads of people trampling the forest because they turn it into a shithole. And this is one of my side projects. If you're going out in the forest, clean up your shit and take it home with you, please, because I'm so sick of seeing tents and cans and vapes and absolute utter crap and poo bags. If you've gone to the effort of putting some dog shit in a bag, take the fucking dog shit home with you. Sorry, I go on a rant about this, but I can't stand seeing nature absolutely brutalized by NPCs. That's all I can say. Because if you had awareness, you wouldn't do it. So, there we go. So, yes, if you're really, really hot, go into the forest, go into a woods, sit under a tree. Do you notice how animals do that when it's a heat wave? Animals go and sit under a tree. Because they know, because they ain't stupid. Okay, I'm going to go with Nirvana. I see poo bags on trees. I just don't get it. Yeah, people need serious, like, I just want to take the poo bag and just shove it in their face and say, you forgot something. But peace and love and light and all of that. So, right, second to last one, Nirvana. I thought I'd throw this in there, and I'm not talking about the band with Kurt Cobain, and this is very good. Nirvana. Okay, so the Sanskrit meaning of it is extinguish, or to blow out. I couldn't say that word. Extinguishment or blowout. Now, Nirvana is coined as a term of enlightenment. When you reach Nirvana, it is full, eternal inner peace. It is Zen. It's a Buddhist term. And there's 3 key factors that Nirvana is about erasing, basically. So it's about extinguishing greed, hatred, and delusion. Sometimes we talk about being delulu when it comes to manifesting. But to eliminate those 3 things ends all suffering. And if you think about it, it's kind of true. So to receive, when you are in the state of Nirvana, greed is a sign of lack. So when you remove greed, there is no lack. There is no need. You have contentment, fulfillment. When you remove hatred, there is only love. There is only peace. There is only joy. When you remove delusion, when you can see things as they are, you have acceptance. So removing those 3 things leads you to Nirvana. Now, we would all love to be in that state of Nirvana all day long, but we can't, because there are other people that piss us off and situations that get right on our tits. So that's the human way. But this is what we're trying to do on this spiritual journey, is at least achieve a piece of it, or at least stay in it for as long as we possibly can. Because it's not practical, is it, for everybody to sit there and be in a state of nirvana all day long? So in terms of manifesting, they are very key, because accepting what is, accepting where you are, and accepting this oneness, removing lack, removing need, and being content with yourself, finding inner fulfillment, inner love, inner safety, inner peace, right? And then to remove hatred is to love yourself, to love others, to love everything around you, to be in the energy of love. So if you want to reach nirvana, get rid of those 3 things in your life. Become self-fulfilled and content. Become love and emanate that, and accept. Just be in acceptance. Now, that doesn't mean you have to accept bad behavior and bullshit. No, we don't do that. But we don't have to get irate about it. So there you go. And the last one, I thought I'd mention this one, is the granddaddy of manifesting, Neville Goddard. Don't know if you've ever heard of him. He has the best freaking name, Neville Lancelot Goddard. I ain't making that up. Now, he learned from his neighbor, Abdullah. Abdullah was the one that told him. So Neville grew up in Barbados, and then he moved to the USA and was a dancer, and was kind of struggling and all the rest of it. And he wanted to go back to Barbados to see his family, but he didn't have any money. So he went to see his neighbor, Abdullah, and Abdullah basically said to him, "You are in Barbados," and shut the door. And Neville was just like, I don't understand what this guy's talking about. So he knocked on the door again. He's like, "What the hell do you mean? I'm not in Barbados." He said, "If you want to be in Barbados, then assume that you are in Barbados. Every day, all day, you are already in Barbados." So Neville decided, well, I got nothing to lose. So he did. He would imagine himself in Barbados. He would, imagine being in his family home, around his family and all the rest of it. And I think literally a couple of weeks went by, and his brother had sent him a plane ticket to get to Barbados, and said, "I've been thinking about you lately." Hadn't spoken to his brother in months. Just out of the blue, ticket arrived. "We want you to come to Barbados and come and see us because we miss you." Off he went. Now, the ticket was a regular one. He wanted first class. Again, Abdullah said, "You are already in first class. Your ticket is a first class ticket. It is not basic." So he did the same thing. He just affirmed that he had first class seats, and that was it. Gets to the airport, I think, and the ticket has been upgraded. It was a mistake. Now, this is where Neville Goddard started the law of assumption, not attraction. Assumption. To assume the state of the thing you desire is how you manifest. If you want wealth, you must feel it first before you experience it in reality. And this is what we talk about, like seeing is believing, but you have to believe it to see it. It is making the unseen seen. That's what manifesting is. It's making the unseen seen. It is turning thought into fact. It is imagination becoming creation. And where people come a little bit apart, this was the best thing that I think Neville Goddard ever said. You cannot be just a little bit pregnant. You either are or are not. And that is what it is with manifesting. And this is the main reason why I love Neville Goddard. He basically took the teachings of the Bible and rephrased them into a way that people could digest it a little bit easier. But he understood that Jesus was the ultimate manifester, and that everything in the Bible was giving you the answer. God is not an entity outside of us. God is in each of us. We are all God of our reality, because we are the creators of our reality. All creation is already done. It is simply what we are selecting to experience in our reality. Are we wanting to experience more love and joy, or are we wanting to experience all our fears and insecurities? And we get to decide. So the law of assumption, as Neville Goddard kind of tried to teach it, was that you must assume the state of being for what you desire, for your desire to be a match to you, it's that frequency, it's the harmony. There's like 12 laws of the universe. I will go into the 12 universal laws, but harmony and balance is one of them. It is the law of resonance. As above, so below. As within, so without. You know, what you put out is what you get back. Everyone is you pushed out. So when you look at things, always ask yourself, what is this teaching me about me? Because this person is me pushed out. This experience is my thoughts pushed out. This experience is my fears pushed out. And that is how you master awareness. And that is how you're able to really start to consciously take control of your manifestations. So Neville Goddard was the absolute G when it came to manifesting. He's not the only one. As I said, there's Nadine Zealand, there's many others. Abraham Hicks talks about it, Joe Dispenza. I mean, it's like, it's the buzzword, but it all boils down to the same thing. You must believe it to receive it. That's what Jesus said. Believe and you have received. He didn't say you're going to receive it. He said you have received. Go and look at the scriptures. He gives it all away. It's basically saying, I am. You are, I am. So you are all that you desire already. You just don't realize it. When you realize it and you understand it and you have the awareness of it, that we are all one, this is all just a game, this is all just consciousness being played out, you get to decide what you want to experience. So you get to wake up in the morning and decide whether it's going to be a good day or a bad day. You get to decide how you respond to situations. Am I going to look at this and decide that this is the worst thing ever? Or am I going to look at it and decide, well, this is actually just a challenge for me? And I love the other thing. I think it was a movie with Morgan Freeman where he said, God doesn't give you what you want. It gives you the experience to create what you want. In terms of, if you want to be more courageous, you will have experiences that build courage within you. You won't be handed courage. You will be given the experiences to become more courageous. It's the same with like money. If you want wealth, you will be given experiences that enable you to become the vibration that matches wealth. So that could be that you maybe go through promotions. It could be that you lose money in order to appreciate the value of it, so that when you receive it, you do better with it next time. There's so many lessons in it, but that's essentially it. If I've talked about God and it's pissed anyone off and they feel a bit kind of meh about it, sorry, but you know, each their own. I'm not here Bible bashing. I'm not hyper religious. Yes, I do wear a crucifix, but this was my grand's and it has sentimental value. So yeah, I'm not out Bible bashing. For me, Jesus, God, spirituality is very, very different to religious God and that kind of practice. Religion, control. Spirituality, expansion. Very different. Let's see. I'm learning to let go of things and trying not to get attached. Good. Losing the ego too is the way to go as well. Yep, letting go is the way to go. Can I ask, Chris, have you started the course? There you go. You wear a crucifix suit. Have you started that course, How to Unfuck Yourself? And if you have, I'm just curious, where are you with it and how are you finding it? And any feedback you've got, if you can email it to me, that would be great. Because yes, I would like to know. It's kind of, I'm not sure where to go with this course because I've promoted it. I'm getting a lot of views on it, but not a lot of people clicking through to purchase, and I'm finding it baffling why. I'm not sure what's kind of stopping people. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know. I don't know if I did get, well, I will double check. I will check. And if I didn't, then I will send you an email and you can reply to that. But yes, I will check that. So that'd be great. But yeah, be curious to know your results and how you're getting on. Right. I have waffled for nearly an hour. People have probably switched off, grown beards, had families by now in the time it's taken me to get through this video. So thank thank you for bearing with me and listening to this. If you have, yeah, you can send it again if you'd like to. That'd be great. Thank you, and I'll keep an eye out for it because I've had some issues with Gmail, so I think it might be because my storage is full. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out for it. Yes, so that's a wrap for today. As I say, I've got more videos to do. I did a little curious thing. I wanted to ask people what they did want to manifest, and for most people, money and freedom was the top one. I thought relationships would be a thing, but I would like to ask you guys, what is the one thing you would love to manifest if you could in the next month? What would you love to manifest? Because I'd like to do some videos on it. I'm going to be doing a webinar. It will be a free webinar, which will be through my Facebook group. So if you want to join that, there should be a link to it in my bio on the page. But if not, I will put a little link in the description box below. So if you want to join the Facebook group, then when I'm able, it will be probably in the next few weeks, I will be doing a live webinar one evening, and you can join me and we'll do some practical exercises at helping you to manifest something that you really want. So let's see. Yours is relationship 100%. I can manifest anything else. Good. Well, do you know what? Here it is, Chris. How we do anything is how we do everything. So how do you manifest everything else in your life? And apply that exact same principle to relationships. The thing that usually gets in our way is our past experiences and our beliefs. And that is why I thought the course would be really helpful for you, because it helps us identify our unconscious patterns that actually cause us to self-sabotage the very thing we want. So when you understand what your patterns are and how they developed, you can then choose to let go of them and replace them with new beliefs and new healthier habits. And in doing so, you actually instantly shift the vibration that you're putting out. And a lot of us do things unconsciously that we don't know we're doing, and we think we're doing all the right things, but we're really not. So yeah, so I'm going to do that. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I will put some posts out. I normally post on Instagram when I'm doing live webinars, but if you join the Facebook group, you will be notified in there when I do the webinars. So yeah, this is going to be fun. I thought I'd just do it so that we'll go on live every week for 1 month, and get everybody in the group manifesting and see what people come up with. So yeah, I feel quite excited by the idea of it. So yeah, it'll be happening very soon. So right, that's it for me. I'm gonna go. That's been 1 hour almost exactly. I have loved being here with you guys. Thank you for watching. You're awesome. Mwah. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going to the Peak District this weekend, and then I'm going off to stay with my partner for a month. And then do lots of adventuring and stuff. We're off to the lakes as well. So yeah, let's see how we go. Right. I will catch up with you all. I should be able to. I might not be able to do it next Sunday, but I will pre-record the next episode of A to Z of Manifesting. So you will have that next weekend. This week. Next weekend. Yeah, I forgot what day it was. Right. Anyway, I'm going because I'm losing my mind. Right. I'll catch you all soon. Take care. Happy manifesting, peeps. Speak to you soon.